Hi all, in this video we will be looking at the first chapter of class 6th NCERT history textbook titled What, Where, How and When. Let's start finding out what happened. We can learn about the past through newspapers and TV for recent events. We can also ask people for the living memory. For events that happened long ago, we use special historical methods. Next, what can we know about the past? We can consider historians as detectives who investigate the past. They try to find out how people lived thousands of years ago by studying clues left behind. They will try to figure out the food they ate, the clothes they wore, the houses they built, the work they did they entertain themselves, if they worshipped, did they fight wars, etc. By piecing together answers from different clues, historians recreate the stories of how people lived long ago. Next, where did people live? We have given a chronological river settlements in our textbook. We shall go through one by one. First, Narmada River. For several 100,000 years ago, early humans lived along this river. What were their specialties? They were skilled gatherers. They had vast knowledge of plants. They collected roots, fruits, and other forest produces. They also hunted animals. And the second, Suleiman and Kirtar Hills. For about 8,000 years ago, agriculture began here. This was one of the regions where for the first time men and women grew crops like wheat and barley. They started rearing animals. They have lived in villages. Next, Garo Hills in the northeast and Vindhyas in the central India. Around 4,700 years ago, first cities developed along the Indus River. Around 2,500 years ago, cities flourished along the Ganga River. See, we can spot the Ganga River here. See, the Ganga flows like this and it has its tributaries along with the river. And the region south of this river is called Magadha, which is now situated at the state of Bihar. It had powerful rulers and they set up large kingdoms. The movement of the people is being discussed in the third page. We shall also look on that. So why people traveled? Despite geographical challenges like mountains, forests and rivers, people traveled extensively throughout the subcontinent from the Ganga Valley to Kaveri Valley, and from mountains to coastal regions. Reasons for their movement. People traveled for livelihood, to escape from disasters, as armies to conquer new lands, as merchants to trade their goods, as religious teachers, or for adventures. So when people moved, they exchanged ideas, foods, languages and traditions, which has contributed to India's rich cultural diversity. Next, the names of the land. We are familiar with the two names of India, which is India and Bharat. The name India is derived from the Indus River, which is called Sindhu in Sanskrit. Greeks and Iranians from northwest of the country called the Indus River as Hindus or Indus, and the land beyond the river became known as India. So it was used primarily by people from the other countries. Next, the name Bharat. The name Bharata was used for a group of people who lived in the northwest. It is mentioned in the ancient Sanskrit text Rig Veda, which is the earliest composition in Sanskrit. Today, both names are officially used, India in English and Bharat in Hindi or other Indian languages. So we have one land with two beautiful names. Next, finding out about the past. Historians use various sources to piece together the stories of the past. These sources are like puzzle pieces that help us understand how people lived long ago. So these are the primary sources of historical informations. Which are they? First one, manuscript. The Latin word manu means hand in English. So the manuscripts are handwritten books written on palm leaf or birch bark. Birch is a tree and the bark of the tree was used to write manuscripts. It covered various themes like religious beliefs, kings' lives, medicines, science, epics, poems and plays, etc. It was not only written in Sanskrit but also in Prakrit and Tamil. Inscriptions are also writings, but on hard surfaces like stones or metals. Kings inscribed orders and people recorded deeds or victories. Just understand this. Historians study history through documented evidence, but archaeologists study history through physical evidences. In detail, we can say archaeologists are scholars who study objects from the past like buildings, paintings, sculptures, tools, weapons, pots, ornaments, coins, bones, etc. But historians are the scholars who study the past using written sources like manuscripts, inscriptions, archaeology as clues. So this is the difference between the two. Just note it down. The next heading is one past or many. History wasn't same for everyone. Kings, farmers, merchants and artists all experienced life differently. That's why historians often use the term past, which is a plural term, instead of just past singular. Next we shall look on to what do dates mean. Historians use special systems to keep track on when events happened in the past. These dating systems help us organize historical events in chronological order. What is AD? It is Anno Domini, the Latin word which means in the year of the Lord. Like AD 2012 means just 2012. But BC, you have to look on this. BC is before Christ, like it is counted backwards, like 2000 BC, that means 2000 years before the Christ. Okay, next we have secular terms like CE and BCE instead of using AD and BC. Like CE is Common Era, which is same as AD. We shall either use AD or CE. They both are similar, that is why I use the same colors. So next BC, before Christ, we can use BCE instead of BC. That is before Common Era. Same as BC, 2000 BC or 2000 BCE. And next before present, BP. That is for every ancient times we can use BP, like 8000 BP, before present. And also in the last portion of the text, there is a mention of Rosetta Stone. Let us discuss that too. The Rosetta Stone discovery. In the year 1799, soldiers in the Egypt found a stone with the same message written in 3 different scripts. So the same message was written in the 3 different scripts. So one of the script was Greek. Scholars could already read Greek, so they noticed kings' names were in special frame, which is called cartouches. What is cartouches? Cartouche is a little frame enclosing names of kings and queens in ancient scripts. So they have noticed kings' names were in special frames, which is in cartouches, and by comparing Greek names with Egyptian hieroglyphs, they began to understand the symbols. So once they knew what some symbols meant, they could gradually decipher the entire script. That is how the Rosetta Stone has been deciphered. Let us also discuss what is the importance of decipherment. So decipherment helps historians understand the ancient civilizations, cultures, beliefs and daily lives, opening up vast inaccessible information. So that's all about the chapter. If you have any doubts regarding this chapter, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you.